Yo,
Action.
this is productivity and procrastination. I'm James.
And I'm Joe, and we're just a couple of procrastinators looking to get productive. Now it's you.
Currently, we are on our first project, which we've nicknamed Project Pancake. And this,
And you are listening to episode 8 and watching it.
so that went so smooth.
It's okay. We're doing our best. At least people have more of an understanding of like what we are doing. It's something we
Oh,
discussed last week. For those
we did.
like we discussed it after the episode that we wanted to have like context. So if this is like your first time listening, you know like kind of what's going on and where we are and what we're doing. Um but yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was not a bad idea. Um,
It was a
I saw
genius
your
idea.
Diablo video last
Did you watch
night.
it all?
I did.
Oh nice.
That's a bummer that you got cut off. I was so excited to see what happened next.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that like solo streaming gaming thing. I've gotten so comfortable just like talking all the time to myself like a weirdo.
Well, we did
We
a lot
also
last week.
we
Oh,
did.
sorry.
No,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no.
Tell me what's your general thoughts on Diablo? I really want to know.
So far, the what I've played, which you've seen all of it of what I've played.
Oh, that's it.
It's yeah, well because every time I try to log in, it's like an hour long queue and I'm like I don't care that much. Um it's good. Like it feels like Diablo, but it's just a different leveling system and I am excited to play more.
What's the different level? Like, how does it? I saw you level
So
up. Like
yeah.
a level 4 was pretty dynamic, but
Well, it's like you get
that's
like
what
a
it was.
tree it seems like and you pick from stuff inside the tree.
Now you reset your tree. Is that what you did?
Mhm.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I thought, man, I really wanted him to see if Frozen Orb was worth a damn, like
Mm.
old
Mhm.
Diablo 2 style. Pretty nostalgic, but no, I liked where you were going with burn and things like
Yeah.
that. But I mean, in my mind, the funnest thing possible is like chain lightning and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it's never as strong as it should be in my mind. They always nerf it because everybody would like it. It's like, why don't you just
Yeah, it's like
make it pretty good?
and then it falls off during like boss
Yeah.
fights
Mm,
because it's like it doesn't have AoE potential and so it's like the damage just isn't there.
that's true. It looked good though. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it
No,
looked
it's
like
like
something you could sink some hours in.
mhm. Uh-huh.
Mm.
Okay. And
So
then
we,
also, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead. You
go
tell him.
ahead.
You tell
Oh
him.
no. Well, we did start the podcast
We
last week.
started a podcast.
We just decided, you know what? We're a couple of get it done guys. Let's just make a podcast today and like put it up and already have the second episode like ready to go automatically, which is up too.
Yeah, it just uploaded.
That's pretty cool. That wasn't as much of an involved process as I thought it would be, like initially.
Yeah, there's one issue though that we have found.
Oh,
And
is
I'm gonna
there?
double check to make sure on my end
Yeah,
right now.
please do. Oh, the fact that we don't exist? Is
Yeah.
that the this is a minor thing. What are you talking about? I love their search all or show all button. As if all is 40 things or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Go all in my
Oh,
definition would mean all that you have, not
right.
all that we
Which,
want you to see.
judging by the naming, like our name is what I searched, and so like it should be here,
You
but
would
it is
think.
not.
Yeah, we are.
So
just
it seems as
non-existent.
though this is more just like things that have been boosted or are featured.
Right.
They're searching the featured stuff, not actually everything.
Yeah, like, oh, this has been listened to. Let's show it. And nothing else? Like, I don't understand that concept there.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a waiting period, though. Like, hey, we need to make sure.
So the research
I
I've
don't know.
done is because we're small and tiny, we're never going to get seen. We're never going to get searched. And because
Oh,
of that, we're never going to
that's-
get... Yeah, we need to find a different hosting. Like, we need to find someone else, too.
Yeah. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least we started.
Yeah.
You know, we
I mean, we'll
did.
keep uploading them to Spotify because we've started, but we should upload them somewhere else, too.
Yeah. Should we go to Apple next?
Probably. And then maybe Amazon?
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Why not?
Why not? Okay. Oh, and it was like last week afterwards we just figured out that like we figured out some things like we don't want to make these longer than they have to be. Like we don't want to just fill time. So we're just kind of like if there's stuff to talk about there then we have stuff to talk about. If not, we'll just end it. Like these are just
What's
records in time.
the difference? Did we do that before?
To me, I never thought we filled time intentionally. At least I never did. I don't care
Well,
how
then.
long or short these are. Like these could be 10 minutes if it's just goals, but there's obviously both of us can be chatterboxes. So
Okay. So, how successful were you to this week?
okay, so let me go through my goals and tell you which ones I finished. I uploaded
right.
Zomboid video, which was great.
That was good.
We researched podcast options. We uploaded one episode. I uploaded pics of Pancake Man to Discord. I did not research comic process. I did not do 3 thumbnails for opening scene. I did draw other things, but I want to talk about that in a second. And I did not draw 3 thumbnails for illustration. So I missed 3 of my goals. And mostly because yesterday I didn't do anything. Because today's my birthday and I considered it an extension of my birthday.
Oh, I knew that. I knew it was your birthday.
So I
You
kind of
know,
slacked.
I had thought that it was this weekend, like, because I pushed it off as probably the only day I could do something. So I guess I just thought it was your birthday the weekend. Well, we'll ignore the real. I mean, okay, fine. Happy birthday.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I should have probably got something yesterday, but it's like on birthdays, it's good to reflect. And
Yes.
for me, my life has changed a lot in the last year, like a lot. And so there's a lot of reflecting on just everything that's happened.
I think there's something in my beard. There's not. Maybe there was. I don't know.
Spooky.
How old are you, Joe?
34.
Seasoned man.
I'm seasoned. I got gray hairs now. Look at them.
Look at that.
There's one right there. And one right there. And one right there.
I got them. They're like starting to fluff in on the sides. Like,
They make you look distinguished. Like Sean Connery.
or, well, he's dead now.
Well,
Unfortunately.
hopefully he looks like an alive Sean Connery.
I hope I don't look like the dead version of it right now.
You look like a seasoned Jafar.
All right, I'll take it. I
Yeah.
like Jafar.
He's got a certainness about him that I like.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I could have done better this week. Like yesterday, I could have done some thumbnails and stuff. I don't know. I really just fought
Dude,
it.
I'm so glad you didn't get a lot done, because I didn't. I had kind of a crappy week.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm glad you had, a reflection time. So how was that? Did it was it any different than any other reflection time that we like basically have once a week now?
Yes, it wasn't about work, and it wasn't about like our business. It was more of a reflection on just the choices I've made and what I could have done differently, and just like different stuff about like just the past year, really, about like how much my life has changed and who I've become as a person.
Yeah, that makes sense. I Yeah, I think that's a lot of what happens to everybody when they have their birthday.
Mm-hmm.
They start reflecting on that. Well, hopefully it went well in your
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Good.
I'm not upset about it. I should have done some more, but I didn't. I wasn't in the headspace for it.
Mm.
Which, I mean, it's not an excuse, but it's still, I should have. No, whatever. There's always next week. Next week, I'm gonna work on it better. All right, let's talk about James' goals. Which ones did you accomplish?
Well, we accomplished all of our podcasting stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I did draw a little. I
There you
did open
go.
the pad up.
Heck yeah.
I was trying just some man, my lines suck.
It's all
Um,
good.
just taking a few of those brushes. I drew a little bit with my daughter. We drew
Mm-hmm.
some weird little blobby guys and colored them in a little bit. And
Nice.
mine looked really derpy, she said.
That's okay.
So then she made
James, it's okay to
another
be bad.
character who was mean, looking at him, looking at Derpy. So then we felt sad for him. So yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
I have realized my pad seems to be my daughter's old pad because she gave my nice pristine pad to her friend. So I didn't realize she had, like, I don't know, all these buttons on the side are like all crusted. Like, I'm pushing them in. It's like, what's wrong? Like, she dumped something in there. It's all good.
Chocolate milk.
Eventually I'll get another one. But
Yeah.
it was funny. I was like, oh, okay, I can't make these buttons like erase.
Oh
Make my thing
no. So
bigger.
your drawing pad is just
So yeah, it's drawing. It's a
it's
drawing
45
pad.
bucks. 45 bucks on Amazon. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I ended up. I don't know. I had like a midweek crisis and just felt like, you know, going for walks. Ended up talking to my wife, and we ended up like deciding on another facet of what we do for our business. So we're gonna actually go out today and do some photo shoot stuff. Um, and kind of start getting pictures for what we're going to do with another business. And
Nice.
we don't think it's going to take away from what we're doing currently. So we just think it's going to add another facet. And so that'll be good. Minimal work and maximum results is kind of what this side thing's going to be. I think it's going to be nice. So yeah, we ended up talking a lot about that during the week and figuring out how that's going to work and defining everything. And I'm just so sick of working for a living. Oh, yeah, I don't even want to talk about work. But I had a few days that I
Yeah.
wished I could have put in a few days. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to do stuff. I want to get more done. And I've really determined that I really need to get stuff done on my days off. I keep putting things off to, oh, I'll just do that in the morning tomorrow. I'll just get up early. Dude, so stuff always happens. Or, oh, I'll just wait till Friday night. Yeah, I did stuff Friday night, you know, I did stuff, but I'm really looking forward to having 3 days off. I think it will change things for me. And
Yeah.
today, I know that, okay, today is my day to get stuff done. I'm not going to put that off. I'm not going to play games instead of, unless I've already accomplished what I want. I've got to do it today or I won't get it done. I can't assume I'm going to do anything. I mean, the other day I had on Thursday night, I was like, oh, I should go do stuff, get stuff done, but I went to the thrift store earlier that day and I made my daughter watch Napoleon Dynamite with me. And that's what I did the Thursday night. I was like, why did I get nothing done and I chose to watch Napoleon Dynamite? But everybody has to watch that movie once, so
Yeah.
I made her.
It's a cult classic.
So yeah, I'm a very I need a little bit of structure, but I need a little bit of a time period to let my structure take hold. So that full day, I need it. I need today as a get it done day, and I need to not stray from that.
Sorry, something weird just happened. Okay.
I almost shaved today, just before
Oh yeah.
we came on. I just feel like it's so damn itchy right now.
Oh
Get rid of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, when it starts getting itchy, that's when I shave it. It starts bugging
And,
me. I'm just it's gone. I look like a fucking weirdo without it. Like, so there's two different versions of me that I like. There's this one where I have my hair back, right? Makes me look vegan, which is a great look.
Vegan?
And then yeah, it's like where I mean, you know,
I was thinking more of like samurai or something. Something cool.
I like that one better, but I want to push forward like a sarcastic vision of myself when I talk about self rather than like, you know, oh, look
A
how handsome I am.
serious.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine.
But yeah, so I go with my vegan look, and then if I've shaved, then I like to have my hair down and have this like caveman look, or like, I don't know.
So there's the okay, you both of which can be defined as like food products that you eat. So there's the one side of you that's the I will not eat animal parts, and then there's the other part that's like pure caveman
Exactly.
carnivore.
I'm always trying to balance the two.
Interesting.
It's a constant struggle.
Yin and the yang.
Mm-hmm.
Omnivore and the oh wait, no, herbivore, carnivore.
Yeah.
It is a struggle.
It is. Okay, so with one of my goals, instead of saying draw other things, I figured out what my intent was. Like, I didn't know until this week what my intent was with that. Like, I wanted to make sure I was drawing other things, but my intent is to make sure I'm drawing something every day. So instead of draw other things, I want to draw something each day. What I'm going to do is have like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just like cross them off. I'll probably start with Saturday though. Well, I can start with Sunday. Sunday, Monday, yeah. Because I did a lot of drawing yesterday, but that's all I did was draw yesterday. Like every other day of the week, didn't do any drawing, and that's frustrating. I did a lot yesterday, but it wasn't like, and some stuff I really enjoyed.
Well, it was very similar to me. I mean, I drew yesterday.
So, I really like this one.
That's the one I was gravitating towards.
And then I really like this one.
Bring it out
it's not
just a
gonna
little bit.
This guy.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's very movie-esque.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, it's like I want to make sure I'm drawing every day, and so that's what I'm gonna put in my thing. Because that was my intention with the draw other stuff, or at least that's what that's what I feel like my intention was.
Okay, so considering that's a bigger goal than normal when you say you're going to draw things, I'm going to say that I'll consider it a success if you get 3 done that week. 3 days where you actually are, doing it. Because that's like, a decent success. But I don't want to consider it not a success if you, don't get every day. I don't think that's fair to you.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right, but I want to try. So yeah, if I get the majority of the days, I'll consider it a success.
Okay.
And it's something I should be doing anyway. It's just trying every day, even if it is just like something really quick, which I can do something really quick. A lot of these faces don't take me very long time at all. I'm getting faster as just like putting ideas on paper or just exploring, which is something I've been doing recently, which I really like. So that is that, and then I want to also make sure I put the edit video and put it up by Sunday. Maybe I'll get it actually up by Sunday this time. And I do want to do 3 thumbnails, 3 thummies for opening panel. And we also need to get another podcast episode prepped.
Yes.
You want to put that on yours?
Sure.
That way, so you have something you can cross off as well. So, maybe I'm overthinking. But would you be more comfortable if I took on the backgrounds as well?
Oh, wow. That was funny because I was like talking to myself last night as I was coming back from getting Slurpees, and I was thinking, oh my gosh. I mean, if he wants his backgrounds to look like complete crap, this is going to be fine. But man, I wish I could just write. I mean, honestly, it'd probably get done a lot faster. We could probably actually pump out some crap. I mean, the amount of training. I mean, I spent like a half an hour just looking at images of perspective last night, and just going, uh, uh. Then I started thinking, okay, well, can I get, pictures off the internet, and is there some way that I can make perspective charts from any picture that I see, so that maybe I can, yeah, so I just started thinking about how I can make, this process faster and
Mm-hmm.
faster. And oh my goodness, I just lack a lot of tools. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy it and I want to, do some of it for fun, but it's like,
Right.
oh my goodness, I
Like, okay, I don't want to steal. I don't want to steal your chance to
believe me,
grow.
believe me, it's not stealing it.
I just feel like there's a lot of hesitation on your end about it, and it's like I don't want this to be a stall in our process in
I
our
don't either. And I think you're you're right, first of all. Um but honestly, you've been training for years now. It feels like starting to get this drawing thing going on. There's a lot of things I would have to do.
there's a lot of
That
nuance.
would take a lot of time. And honestly, I don't have that kind of time if we plan on getting anything done. I mean,
Right.
it's like, when am I supposed to do all this? And it was, that's when I'm like, okay, well, how can I make it the most efficient I possibly can? So I've been
Mm-hmm.
trying to spend my time thinking about that. I'm like, okay, there's got to be some kind of, way for me to streamline the creation of angles and backgrounds and stuff like that. I mean, I have concepts of how to do some of these things, but I don't have the practice. I don't have all that you have right now. It
Like, you keep
Oh my
sighing like there's this
gosh.
big weight that just fell off your shoulders.
It's like, dude, it's and then I thought to myself, well, yeah, I mean, if our thing is like uh people look good and our backgrounds are just like some half man child made them. If that's our thing, then maybe that's fine. But
Yeah, I mean, we had talked
dude,
about like not caring too much about how it looked because we've talked about like how these like crappy things just that's like our first discussion was like how crappy things like visually unappealing things are still sold and highly
yes,
coveted.
that is true. But what I've found is I mean, I can make crappy things. Don't get me wrong, but
Me too.
the it's really the the expertise in some of the basics that honestly it's gonna take so long, and I don't know that the quality is gonna be worth it. Honestly, you could probably do something better right now, in a matter of minutes, with your knowledge of,
Yeah.
shading and lighting and all that stuff in form and all that nuance
Don't
that
get
you're
me. I'm
doing
not.
right
I'm no
now.
like perfect. Like I
And
still have
it
so much
doesn't
to learn,
have to be.
but
That's the thing, but just what you have right now is probably all we would really need for a background. I mean, I don't think the background is really the focus anyway. As long as they know
right.
what the hell it's supposed to be, that's all that really matters. Um, in my mind, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
unless the focus is the background for some scene or something like that. But most of the time, it's going to be the character. It's going to be the
Right.
character. It's going to be the face of the character. It's going to be the expression. That's where the action is, not the background. So, um, yes, it would be a better decision. Um, and then I can really start focusing on what I've been thinking about, which is okay. Well, yeah, we got Pancake going on here. I do want to basically get a working storyboard going on with you over, what angles would be
Right.
best in what scene. How should we transition this frame to another frame? Do we have any decorative elements or of wording or anything like that that can add to the actual we'll call it a manga for now, but comic,
Are we
whatever it
reading
is.
it left to right or right to left?
Honestly, it's probably better if we just call it a comic and go from the
Okay.
inside,
Sounds good to me.
because otherwise I'll just be going insane. Um, and then I can focus more on the real story that we're going to do after the fact. I can start developing some characters. I can start, making some real writing for it. And then, as we progress past this point, we'll be, in a better position to actually produce a work. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because I mean, we have a whole world that we need created for our next project. Because our next
Yeah.
one's going to be like our actual big boy project. This is just like our Project Pancake.
Yeah, but I definitely want to understand the templating situation for this. There's also some new KDP-like resource that just opened up. It's it was the version that creates physical books.
Okay.
In that would be direct to digital. Just kind of opened up their physical book side, just like a few days ago, I guess. And they have some tools we might want to look at. So anyway,
Nice.
oh
All right.
man,
You feel better?
gosh, yes. Okay, so then I can start working more on actual writing that I need some practice on, because we've all heard Project Pancake.
What's wrong
and,
with Project Pancake?
And then and then I can have fun with that, the writing word element to it, which yeah. Okay. Have you drawn any backgrounds?
Oh yeah, I've drawn backgrounds before.
Oh, okay. Cool. The storyboarding side is something that, when you're collaborating in person, like if we were in person right now, we'd just pull out some paper that we had bought, and we'd kind of get together the flow of the story, and start creating it. But it's harder to do that virtually.
Right.
And maybe, this is increasingly more of a virtual kind of thing. So
We might be able to get like a drawing program or something that we can just like both draw on it.
share.
Like a shared whiteboard basically.
Yeah, that would be good to find out what we could get.
I know
for
that's a
that.
thing. We just have to find one that works for us.
Yeah, and preferably something that, I don't know, even if it's just a file that it would be nice if we could collaborate at the same time if we wanted to.
Oh yeah. No, like we could
You know.
be in call together and like
Yeah.
both draw at the same time.
That would be nice. But we need to do a storyboard so
Yeah.
that we can basically have actual scenes that we can try to, So then you don't have to be like, oh, what do I want to draw?
Right.
well, hey, I'm gonna do this one simple part right here. I'm gonna work on that, and you actually are getting your drawing practice and your work done at the same time. That's more advantageous. But we need a storyboard to help you with that. So storyboard is probably something we should think about doing rather decently soon. Now, so that's something that we want to think about when we could do that. We have the podcast episode, which we need to at least do one today. I know we had thought we were going to do them all, but you know,
Yeah.
do
one.
I mean, we could do one at least. That would at least get us through this week. Yeah. And what would be really nice is if we could see if we can get an Apple account and upload to there today. I mean, if we felt adventurous. So I don't know how adventurous you're gonna feel.
Yeah,
after
no, I'm
this
on board giving it
call.
a shot. There's something I want to discuss, and okay, so before we mentioned me taking over the backgrounds, you seemed like, dare I say, hesitant towards like goals and things, but now that that's been lifted, it's like you're running towards the goal again.
Really?
Yeah, no, like watch it back and you'll see like
Huh.
you're just like, I think you're weighed down by this expectation or whatever it is.
Well, I mean, it's hard.
I don't want to explore that because like that's a big deal.
Okay. Yeah,
that's like project ending stuff.
No, I think you're right. It's like this last week, I've had days where I could have worked. I mean, I set aside. I've told people, I'm not doing anything on this night. I need to get stuff done. And then I wouldn't. I'd like find something else to do. And I wouldn't even game because I wouldn't allow myself. It's like, no, I should be getting done. So I find some other way of wasting the time. So then I don't have enough. And then the next morning, I'm just going to get up at 8:30, no problem. And then I'd get up at 8:30, and then I'd waste my time for like 2 hours and be like, I should do some. Oh, it's too late. It's like I have been avoiding it, and it's been annoying to me. But I think now that you're saying that reaction happened, I'm like starting to understand that I have been avoiding it. And maybe that's why. It's because my logical side looks at the problem of all the variables, what I have to do in order to accomplish X goal in a realistic manner that I think is worthwhile. And I go, that's impossible for the amount of time you're talking about here. And so if it's impossible, how can you want to do that? How can you want to pretend like the impossible that logically is impossible in the amount of time? How can you pretend like that's going to happen? And so you just avoid it because it's just stupidity to just tend your way through that. I mean, yeah, if I had every day of every day, I could sit here and maybe pump out something and be able to do something in a reasonable amount of this month. But I don't have every day and every hour to slog my way into a procedure that can, some kind of workflow to work around the fact that I haven't drawn in 30 years. No, can't do that. Maybe when we're working for ourselves, I can get to do something like that. But anyway, so reality and logic hit you with the time frame at hand.
So I'm trying to like boil this down to like the bare bones and like what, because I felt like part of me was like, okay, well, this is gonna fail now, because it felt like you like, I felt a sense of defeat from it. Like part of me was like thinking like, oh, this isn't gonna go anywhere, because I felt this like sense of defeat from you.
yeah, to some degree, it's like I couldn't admit it. It's like I've felt it, and I've done the repercussions of defeat. I've done the avoidance. I've done all of that, and my mind, it was slowly creeping these thoughts in. Like, dude, Joe should be doing these backgrounds, not you. What the hell are you doing? You know? And I'm like, when are you even gonna write? You know, I'm like, that's what you should be doing right now. But no, you gotta learn how to do this. And I'm like, it's impossible though for me to do this in such a way where I could realistically do this right now. And you know, oh yeah, it's so easy doing art. You just draw, right? I mean, just throw it back. No, dude, perspective is not a simple thing. You know, in one day you're gonna get that out there. You got to really want to do this. This is learning, too. So yeah, I think you're right. I don't think this would have gone anywhere if, I mean, maybe eventually, but
So, how does one avoid situations like this in the future? Like, what?
well,
What
if you're
feelings?
talking just the average person, like someone listening to this,
Yeah.
I would say you have to be mindful of the amount of time. If you're in a group setting and you have a time frame, then it all but if you don't, okay, like you don't, you just want to get something done, you know, as fast as you can, then this isn't a problem, because then you just work on it. You work on it until you're able to achieve, and you take that time to learn whatever skill that you desperately want to learn, and you go on. But if there's a time frame involved, and you're learning a new skill, and then that's when the problem arises, is there's this and it wasn't a helpful stress. It was a stress that even though I hadn't really given up, because it was like, okay, well, I gotta eventually, we're gonna get this eventually. um I wasn't harnessing the energy of the momentum of the last, you know, X weeks. It didn't feel like there was going to be any meaningful movement in what was happening. And honestly, it comes down to time. You have to estimate correctly, and go back to the art of war, Sun Tzu or something like that. It all starts with the power of estimation. And I estimated what it would take, and it's like, dude, this is not right. And I think I gave up internally a
So,
little bit.
I mean, maybe we weren't to this point yet, but let's assume, because this is a group project, let's assume someone's else in a group project. What held you back from like asking for help with this, or like just being like, hey, Joe, I do not want to do these backgrounds?
Because you don't sit here and you define these things so simply, because it's not so simple as, why didn't you ask for help? It's you have the variable of the week. You have every aspect of your life where you're just like, okay, well, it's just part of this. It's just like, oh, you're not using your week the way you should. You're not, there's all this deflection from the point at which you've just said, you know what, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And and the deflection into doing anything else but is just another symptom of the point where you can say, okay, it can't, I need help. This can't be done. Because you can blame your history of not getting things done on some of that too. You can be like, oh, it's not insurmountable. It's just I'm making it insurmountable, or I'm not doing, what I should do, or some other anything. And so there's so many variables to getting something done that if you've defined your role incorrectly in a project with other people, then that can be a bigger problem than anything else too, in some ways. And I think that's what it was for me. It's like I bit off more than I could chew. Here I am just thinking, oh, backgrounds, I should be able to alleviate some of that problem. I'll work on the background side. It's something I'm interested in anyway, right? But if you have a time frame like we do, and we just want to pump something out, this is not the time for underestimation on the art side on my part. I will admit. Oh my goodness, there's a lot more to that than I thought. Mixed with the time frame that we're trying to do, which is, hey man, let's pump something out ASAP so that we can get some of these other animals observed. The print on demand side. We want to observe that. We want to have something tangible to look at as fast as possible so that we can move on to the next thing. Those things don't mix. Hey, get at something out as fast as possible that is theoretically impossible for the time frame for you to accomplish. It's a logical fallacy for me to do those two at the same time.
And I'm kind of excited that we found like such a nugget of something, because there's a few things I want to explore, and thank you for being so honest about everything, because it's a hard place to be in as like a person, but there's so much to explore. Because this drawing thing is a big goal, right? Like I imagine it as a big goal, and we were breaking off small pieces to get accomplished. But it didn't seem to be working. So like how is this different from our big goal? Like what was the limiting factor for you? Just like the time, and like realizing that it's going to take a lot more time than you had to give in our...
Well, as I have been going through this journey with you, it has affected every facet of my life, from personal, family, and work. I have defined how I'm going to even go to 410s based on this. Nothing else. I can't get all this done unless I do this with my schedule. Every facet of my life. So it is much more complicated, life is, than you just think to yourself, oh, I just X amount of hours a day, just plot and get stuff done. It is much more difficult than that. I mean, maybe when you're 16, it'd be a little easier, no bills, stuff like that all the time in the world, that kind of stuff. Maybe there's a lot more less factors and you can do some of this. But in my current state, there's a lot of variables that I have to flesh out. And I've lost my train of thought now, so I'm not really sure what I'm answering.
So the idea, I'm trying to figure out. So let me make as straightforward of a question as I can. With our system, like I imagine our system is we take giant goals and we break off a piece and we accomplish them. Where did that fall apart for? Is it just a time constraint? Where did that fall apart for like learning backgrounds? Was it just the time constraint that you see that this big surmountable goal is going to take a lot longer than we want it to for completing of Project Pancake? Or was there something else affecting that?
Well, let me think about that while I get my cat.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like, I don't mind doing the backgrounds in the slightest. I just want to, I want to explore why he felt the way he did and, what we can do in the future to avoid these situations. What everybody can do in the future to avoid these situations. Like, for us, it's like, okay, well, I'll just do the backgrounds. But I want to explore that feeling. I want to explore that predicament. And, what we could have done to avoid it. Because to me, that's interesting. And I think it's just good for the type of content we're making.
Well, as I was gone, I thought to myself, there's also the factor of it wasn't fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when thinking about learning to draw and stuff like that, you've got to have a reason beyond, there was no fun after a while. It was like, it was just hard work. And the reason that I had was not because I really loved the task. It was just, hey, maybe this is something I could do to help. It wasn't enough of a reason to get through the hard difficulty because I wasn't deriving any enjoyment out of it whatsoever at the same time. So not only was it a mathematically, in my mind, impossible task for the amount of time, but I wasn't even enjoying it.
Right.
So, and the things that I have spent my own real time on is writing. So I do enjoy that. And in the small amount of time that I've had, the problem is like, okay, you need to devote all this time to doing the figuring out of the background perspective and all that. And yet at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, then writing is not existent because I know I need to spend this time mathematically on this, and it isn't even possible, even if I did.
So were you paralyzed by
every aspect of it, probably?
Yeah, paralyzed by the backgrounds so that you felt like you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, because everything was not able to be worked on because how could I? I had to devote every minute just to even make it possible. And I think because of that, I spent no minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this might be psychoanalyzing and all these things.
No, but I think it's like, and I'm not trying to pick on you, James. I'm just really trying to explore.
I know you aren't. I know you aren't. It's like, how much is actually helpful to people? Where can I reduce it down to some kind of nugget that's like
that's what I'm trying to find, is that nugget, and I think it's in there. I just think we need to explore it.
There's a basic element to every project. There's the amount of time, and there's the amount of enjoyment you're getting out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that is compounded by the teamwork aspect if you are working with a team. So you need to define your roles correctly. Based on some of these factors. What do you enjoy? What role should you really play? How much time do you really have? You know, if this is just something like, oh, you're with your friend, you're like, hey, let's make a manga, you know? Well, what do each of you have to actually learn to do? And how much time are you giving yourself to accomplish this? You know, maybe it, you know, if the time frame doesn't matter and you're young and you're like just with your friends and you're trying to do something, well then you can take all that extra time to delve into learning something, a very minuscule aspect better if there is no real time frame. But the time frame matters, and the enjoyment matters, and what your role is matters. All of these have to be thought of before you just decide to give yourself tasks, you know, because the tasks aren't enough.
I want to explore an idea. So, so our objective, right, is to take these insurmountable goals and break off a piece and accomplish it. Right? But when that piece itself is too hard, we try to break it down further, right? But I don't know if there is breaking down further, like just making a background. I mean, there's obviously you could like, draw a chair or something. But realistically, what if in difficult situations with hard tasks that seem insurmountable, what if you ask for help from your other person? So like you can both do them together. So like if we were both drawing backgrounds, like if we took like time out of our day and we both drew backgrounds, like that would have probably helped. Because it's easier to do these hard things together. Like we still have to remember that we are still a team in this. And I think maybe doing the harder things together, like for example, we do the KSP together. We do like the podcasting, like learning on where to put all that together, because that's like hard stuff. Like it's not just as easy as like, oh, here we go. And we use each other's like momentum to get those things done. So I wonder if there's something later down the road where it feels like insurmountable, asking someone or asking your partner to like help you push through those goals, even if that just means that they're doing it alongside with you. Maybe that'll help push you towards getting these bare minimum things done. I think it's still good for me to do the backgrounds. I'm not trying to like not do the backgrounds because it doesn't bug me in the slightest to do the backgrounds. I'm just saying like I'm trying to explore like why or what we can do in situations where the task is just too difficult for the person at their present state. And so like maybe working together on those or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I could kind of answer a little bit of that with the element of time. If we were in a position where this was what we did for a living, you know, we worked on business together, we don't have to go to a job, we could have the time to, you know, we would probably be together when we were working, and there is definitely a correlation between two people trying to work on one thing, even at the same time. Even if you were the one with the pen in hand, even me just being there over the shoulder, you know, feeding you with my thoughts would help, you know. I'd be like, okay, well, what if we did, you know, I'd be thinking about probably productivity end with it, like tools that could potentially be used, various can't remember what the term is right now, but anyway, yes, And even if we were both doing it together, like if I did, let's say, want to actually be able to make backgrounds or whatnot, yeah, I think working together on some of these harder things is definitely a possible way of insurmountable goals being broken down even further to be possible.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of doing it. So like if you feel as though you're avoiding something, and if you feel as though you're struggling with a goal and it seems to be something that you're really fighting, look to talking to like someone to help you with it, to like look outward. Don't look inward. Don't blame yourself, because I mean things are going to be hard and that's okay. Get some help. Because not everything in a project is going to be easy. Not every goal is going to be easy. If they're easy, you can accomplish them by yourself. But if they're heeding your progress and you just can't seem to get that done, get some help. That's my synopsis on it. That's my negative wisdom. Because I wanna basically develop a system that we can use to accomplish anything.
Yes, I think that's a great goal. So your week, do you think that we're avoiding your pictures?
Yes,
Because
yesterday because it was my birthday. That's the only reason.
okay. Um, so what about the other days?
Um, it was
Like you
work
love
days.
art. You want to work on art.
I do, and
What stopped you?
um, oh, I know, Mountain Blade, Bannerlord.
I did see you now that you say that. I did see a lot of that.
Oh man, it's a really just a delicious game. And that's I think my biggest like when I was working it was like I'd rather play that than do anything else.
Mm.
And so I pushed off my things until Friday, not realizing my apathy on Friday, and then, you know.
Yeah, like we've been playing Zomboid, right?
Mhm.
And now Heather got her first car,
Oh.
and I got my first car now. And so now we're driving to places and looting and throwing stuff in our vehicles. Like inventory is a lot better now. You
Oh.
could just run into a house, grab everything you want, and go throw it in the trunk, and
That's
then
awesome.
drive back. And so, and now that you start to get things like that, it's like, oh, okay, well, now I have all these extra goals I want to do. And they're fun goals, and they're so achievable because all and as soon as you log in, you're able to go loot.
Mhm.
So now it's like your mind knows that you would love to spend like a day doing that. Like you would love to just have like an 8 hour chunk where you could just go there and just do what you've defined as a very fun thing that you are now able to do. Maybe
Mhm.
that's a lot like how it is in Mountain Blade, where it's like an aspect is just opened up. Maybe you got a new tier in your group, and you want to test them out, or you want to gather more of those same guys and see there's always these little goals that you define to yourself, and they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
And realistically, in order to really explore that, you need like a day to do it, but yet you have the tasks that, and maybe you fight a little bit with that.
For
I don't know.
me, for me, it was I had just conquered my first city, and so like I had played this one character for like 30 in-year games or in-game years, and so they were tuckered out. And so what I let them do is like once I got my city to be profitable, I basically let them retire. So like I had them in their city, they made kids, and then I let them like live their life with their kids, let the kids grow up to 18 or whatever. And then I went and I had her and their partner like go retire. And then I inherited and played, and now I'm playing one of the kids. And so it's like this, but I have like 3.2 million money, which is like a ridiculous amount of money, like a ridiculous amount of money, like generational wealth. And so like I have all this money, but I'm playing the game as though it was a new character in like they're making different decisions than their parents would have made. And so they like started their own kingdom, and then immediately everybody declared war on them and stole their city from them. And so now they have to start over, but they have all this wealth. So it's a completely different system. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, when you have all those like civilization managing kind of games, man, it can take so many hours.
I know
and it's enjoyable.
It's perfect for like work, like while I'm working playing those games, because they're not like, I mean, the fighting in Bannerlord is I love the fighting, but it's not necessary. Like a lot of stuff I can do just without too much like WASD play.
Yeah.
It's just mostly clicking, and so it's like, whew, that's fun. But yeah, basically that was my week, is like just avoiding, not intentionally avoiding, just like I should be making sure that I get my stuff done before I game. Otherwise, I won't get it done because I'll just keep pushing it off and pushing it off. But I had planned on doing it on Friday. Like I had planned yesterday on getting it done. I just didn't expect Friday to be so reflecty.
Yeah, I always try to take off my birthday now, for reflecty times.
Yeah.
From work. This would probably follow suit in a normal birthday for me because it's very reflecty. So that's okay. But yeah, I think you need that time. I would recommend it. Every year that I haven't, I've regretted it.
Oh yeah, working on your birthday would suck. It'd be so depressing.
It is depressing. So I would recommend that for anybody listening. Do yourself a favor, just take that day off, call in sick, do whatever you need to do. It's not worth it.
No.
You will be let down. Well, this is very freeing to me. And with that weight off my shoulder, I feel like it's like the other aspects that are interesting to me, which is like the storyboard side. I'm very interested in doing a storyboard with you. it like jumps out at me all of a sudden. It's like, oh my gosh, when are we going to get the storyboard started? When are we going to start taking a look at these
Well,
panes?
see, to me, this is really exciting. Like, I haven't seen this excitement from you in a while, and I'm happy to see it again.
And the element of the story too. Now, like it's like okay, I need okay. So this automatically jumps out at me now. It's like okay, I need to start thinking about exploring the story for our first real thing. So one of my goals now is to do some writing, and even if that's just some character developments, some world building, kind of fleshing out some of these things. I think that would be very helpful, like rounding out this story, trying to actually come up with it in a more detailed way, and bringing that up to you. I think that's a doable thing to at least start thinking about this new
So, what kind of goals can you give
story
yourself
here.
that are specific, and like easy to accomplish for this next week?
I want to come up with characters and with this kind of a story, world building is a major facet. So
Yeah,
I want
especially
to
considering
do
our plans with it, because it's not just this one story. There's a potential that we make all sorts of stuff with it.
I didn't know there was any
I thought
potential
we were,
beyond really.
I thought we were
But
talking about games and stuff too.
oh, well, with this actual story idea, I didn't
Well,
think
just with
so.
the world specifically. Well,
But,
maybe
we
I
could
was
talk about that.
okay.
I don't know. I thought this was a one and done personally, but
Okay,
hey,
we can treat it like that, and then if more comes of it, awesome. If
yeah,
not,
if something jumps out and it's fun, sure, I'd be interested in looking at it. Um, I need some character design and some world building aspects, and with world building, some basically some points of interest. Um, any ideas I can come up with for basic, just really keyframe kind of stuff. What jumps out, what's interesting to me, and then bounce those ideas off of you and see what you think. So, but basically, I need to explore the writing side of the main thing here. The storyboarding thing is more of a group thing
no,
for
absolutely.
Pancake, but I think it would be a great exercise to start with as a together exercise, where I think that would be an easy, fun, and good together project to find some time, and even if it isn't this week, we could do it. But I think that's a next kind of step for us.
Yep, to get Project Pancake
Mm-hmm.
launched here.
Yeah. Um, I do think we also need to take a look at direct to digital, along with KDP. And then, of course, we need to do our
Would you be
podcast.
Would you be okay with pushing off KDP a week?
Yeah,
And maybe
totally.
the direct to digital thing too.
Yeah,
It's good,
yeah. And No,
I don't really want to
totally.
do it today.
That's okay. Oh yeah, yeah. No, totally. You're right. We should probably have to do the podcast episode,
Yeah, that's necessity, absolutely.
that one.
Yep.
But considering it's birthday, let's do the bare minimum, I guess.
Yep. You know,
And
it comes like once a year, and I'm going to be
no,
selfish and ask for a.
I and you should be. And
I'm excited, James.
yeah, do you want to go out tonight?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. What time?
Um, what time works for you?
Um, well, I mean, I guess sometime in the afternoon, I guess. When
Okay.
when do you want to do it?
What time is it right
When do you
now?
normally eat? I don't know. What time do you?
I
I mean,
mean, you want to like do something around 5-ish? Just like spend the night doing it, or did you want to make it an all night thing like we typically do, or did you want to do like just like a day thing?
it's what you would like to do.
Okay, I prefer the all night thing. I just kind of like the world while it's sleeping.
Hmm. Okay. All right. I will. Yeah. What time?
Um,
You said 5.
yeah.
Is that how you want to do it? Okay. 5 o'clock. Yeah, that'll give me time to do a photo shoot and and do that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's cool. And yeah, I feel like, you know, I'm beyond the point where, the are we gonna ever get something done is past. And I felt like, oh yeah, now it's gonna happen. But there's that one aspect of what's underneath the surface that you haven't really fully examined. Why have you been avoiding? Why are things hard? Like like they should be easy right now. Why are they hard? It's it's something that hadn't been brought up. Like it's like when things are not happening and they should be, something's wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? And I think I've been defining it as my schedule and all these other things instead of just really examining the task and really going, okay, are you trying to get this done, or are you trying to avoid it? What's the real deal here?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we have the right, you know, goal in mind, like if and to somebody else, listening, they know what their dreams are. If it's your dream, you should have that element of fun. You should have that element of, dude, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give yourself enough patience, and you let it, happen. These things, these bite-sized chunks of just getting these things done, should be enjoyable and fun. If they're not, is the dream really what you want to do? You really have to take it a week at a time and realize, um, you should have some level of excitement when it comes to each element of this. Maybe there's some boring parts, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
in general, you should have enough to keep you going. And if you don't, what is the problem? Examine it. Um, I'm excited about getting this thing done, but I'm not excited about that task. Now I'm excited about the task. It's like, okay, I get to explore the characters. I get to flesh out this story. I get to, the storyboarding.
Mm-hmm.
That's all fun to me. That's the side I really want to do. That's the side that I've spent real time doing myself, not the other element.
Yeah.
So, examine yourself correctly.
And if you find yourself avoiding something, ask for help. Even if it
Yes.
is like, so like in a world where like both of us couldn't draw backgrounds, right? That would be where I would suggest we work together on them and just
Yeah.
do it at the same time. Because it's an insurmountable task, and so we'd set aside time specifically for drawing backgrounds and getting comfy with them. That's my like if one of us couldn't, then that's what I would suggest. And that's how we'd accomplish push past this barrier, this goal.
Well, do you have anything else that is on your mind before we end?
What's your goals this week? Like read them out.
Oh, well, things that we have not put off would be much. Well, the podcast. I have basically I want some character building. I want to find out how really flesh out how many characters possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some details perhaps about those characters, and the world building is almost like its own character, so that needs to be explored as well, so that this can feel more like a real thing we have here, believable, and basically the beginning stages of writing
Okay.
this thing. I need to jump in and understand the story. I have the concept in my mind. I have the feelings that it's kind of trying to convey and the ideas, but I don't have the details. And
Mm-hmm.
I need some of these details.
Are
So
you
it
excited
takes
about
some
that?
mental thought. Oh yeah.
I can tell the way you're reading stuff. You're just so much more full of like energy, like and excitement. It's kind of cool to see the contrast. I'm excited for you to watch this week's episode and look at yourself in the beginning, and then look at yourself later.
Well, I'll definitely do that.
This would be interesting.
It's I don't know I don't know how to estimate. I've never usually when I write I just downright.
Mm-hmm.
So character building and world building is not something I like sit down and do. But in this particular thing, I think it's needed. So this is not just like something I normally do. This is a new kind of task for me, and so there's an element of difficulty that I don't know what to expect. I don't know what result I'm going to have. I'm excited to find out what that result could be. So
I would
keep
I
that
would
in mind.
challenge you to change your goal from to accomplish these things to sit down and trying these things.
Okay.
So that way it's not, oh, I sat down, tried to do this, and I couldn't do it, and it's like an insurmountable goal that I can't.
I
It
have
just-
some
it doesn't
I
make
have
sense.
some high expectations that I can, get some good work done on this.
Right.
But I
I-
just wanted to preface it with I don't do this particular thing.
I mean,
just think
even if it
needs
comes
happen.
to, well, I mean, not necessarily, because theoretically, you could write a story, right?
Yeah,
And then
this
we
is
could
true.
just storyboard it down.
Yes, that's true.
So as much as like I'm excited for you to try this and see like how it feels for you, but I don't think you should try to pigeon your whole self into this hole.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to try.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited for you.
yeah. How about
Okay.
you?
So I took off. So I have draw daily, and I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'll cross those off. This is just, and this can't be specifically about Project Pancake. This has to be separate stuff. And then I have edit videos and put it up by Sunday, which hopefully I'll get done. If not, I'll get done sometime this week. And then one podcast episode prepped. I did scratch out my 3 thumbs for open panel, because if we're going to be doing storyboarding together, then I think it might be better if we just worked on that all together.
Okay. Sounds good.
So really, I mean, at this point, the only thing that's keeping us back is storyboarding. Like that's our,
Right. Yeah, and I almost feel like it would be nice to do that together, like in person,
we could do
you
that.
know? And so maybe that's something we could do next next week potentially.
Yeah, on Saturday, like
Yeah, do you have
afterwards.
D&D?
Oh, I will have D&D.
Okay, let's do it for a day that doesn't have D&D. Just find out when that is, I guess. Let me know, and I'll make a plan.
What
do
about
that.
I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Do any of those days work for you?
We can talk about what exact day
Okay.
tonight, something like
That's
that. So do you have your goals all fleshed out?
Yeah, I don't have anything specific for Project Pancake, but I think that's because we're missing. Like I don't have anything to draw for Project Pancake yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Just
Yeah.
let's see what you can draw. Draw something.
Stress.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you have listened to us over the course of time at all, maybe some of these things jump out at you. I mean, when I listen to things like this, I would want to examine myself, and hopefully that's what this helps you do, is to see some of these hidden difficulties in your own activity of why you procrastinate, or why you decide not to do things over time. That's the goal in my mind of this, is to have something where you can examine yourself, and you can see, and there might be things that you see about the two of us. It's like, oh dude, this is their problem, like right here. Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? And I mean, if you do, throw some of those in the comments.
Yeah,
It'd be
throw
fun
us a
to hear
bone.
them. But hopefully, if you listen to these things, that you can maybe jump past this point, or past some of these difficulties, by seeing what we're doing here. And that's the hope, is that you can see our struggles in real time. Not as people that have figured it out and they're perfect now and they get all this stuff done and this is how you do it. You just simply do this. No, it's not simply. Your life isn't simply.
Right.
And
I hope that at least somebody had a click today about things that they're maybe avoiding that are too difficult.
Yeah.
Because I think today was a monumental episode.
Well, the realization that there's a level of excitement that, if missing, you should be wondering what's going on with yourself. Because the things that we want to do, the dreams and the goals that we have decided upon, there should be a level of excitement to it. Otherwise, why would you care to do them?
If you look like James before this in the beginning of this episode, you need to examine your life. Think about what you've done.
You need to think about getting a haircut and a shave too, probably.
If you're James
Just
at the
saying.
second part of this episode, then you're on the right track. I'm telling you, you're gonna see such a contrast. I'm excited.
Well,
for you to see the contrast.
I'm excited to look at that. Thanks for listening to this and or watching. And thanks for sticking with us. Excited to see what the next week holds for us, and take it easy.
Bye.